Hello, I'm Tony, and today we are taking a look at yet another blast from the past in the form of Over Top, a top-down racing game from the SNK archives, currently free from Prime Gaming until the end of November 2023. Does anyone else feel like this title was missing a word or two, or is that just me? This racing game is from back in 1996, with graphics and sound to match. They're a bit less blocky and indistinct than I was expecting for the time, but still quite blocky. They do at least manage to convey the sense of speed that's vital in a racing game. I did have a few issues with the scrolling backdrop. The blur that they put on it can be a bit uncomfortable at times, so I ended up playing around with the graphics setting, turning on flicker filter and smooth image, which did help me out a bit. The track limits were also not especially clear, which had me pinballing around the place at times, which apparently you're not meant to do in a car. The soundtrack is an upbeat, kind of thumping track that plays constantly, but it isn't that long a loop, and I really could have done with a change up at points, but these are old games which had limited disk space, so I get why it was like this. There are a few more options than you might expect in this old of a game. For starters, you get to choose your vehicle that has different driving stats for different conditions, and that really does make a difference. You slow down noticeably on surfaces that your vehicle doesn't like, and you can only fly along at top speed in your favoured conditions. It is pretty fun to catch up to that Ferrari that blasted away on the tarmac when you hit the mud. You do face off against 3 other randomly chosen vehicles from the ones that you can select, so at least that's different between races. Conditions change between checkpoints, going from tarmac to snow to sandy desert and so on, and they do have effects beyond your vehicle preferences, though not to the same extent. Snow's slippery, which makes cornering a bit wilder, that sort of thing. When you hit a checkpoint, it gives you 40 seconds added to the clock, and the aim is to complete all 7 stages without running out of time. This is made easier if you find and use the shortcuts, which you have to figure out as you play. They're not signposted in any way, though your opponents do often take them, so it does pay to keep an eye out if you're close to them. I often wasn't, sadly. The braking in the game took me a little while to get used to, but when I did pull off some sick drifting, even if I do say so myself. I might not have footage of it, but it did happen, honest. There are difficulty levels which don't act as I expected. Your default difficulty is level 4, where you complete against 7 stages, but oddly the counter ticks down faster than your lap time goes up. So a lap time of 26 seconds actually costs you 34 seconds off of your timer. It's only like normal 1-to-1 at difficulty level 1, and it just gets worse the higher level you go. At level 8, a 25 second lap time is 43 seconds off the timer. I've no idea how you're supposed to complete the game at level 8. Props to anyone that does, but level 4 is about right that it requires you to make no mistakes in order to complete the track. This is a pretty fun game. Each of the vehicles feels different, and once I got a bit good, level 4 provided a good challenge. And no, I haven't quite done it, I'm like a few seconds away. On the downside, you may have noticed I've not mentioned the other tracks, because there ain't any. There can be only one, and playing it over and over again wears a bit thin after a while. Obviously, discovering the shortcuts do help extend that interest. You can always play the track with every single vehicle, and you can give yourself an insane challenge at level 8, but sooner rather than later, you're going to be over the game. However, it does what it does well enough to be worth picking up for a few hours worth of old school driving entertainment. So on that basis, I do recommend it. Okay, a really quick one there for a pretty simple game, so that's all from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.